So Kyle Larson made a big oopsie by dropping an N-bomb, or he said the N-word on a live stream in a NASCAR iRacing event at the Monza Oval set up by Landon Cassill. This has repercussions for not only Kyle Larson, but the entire sport of NASCAR and even dirt racing. This really has an impact on motorsports as a whole. And in a crisis like we are in right now, this definitely has, I would say, an even bigger impact, because this is the only thing we have to talk about. This is the only thing making national headlines outside of the pandemic going on. So this is probably oopsie of the decade, or last 2, 3, 4, 5 decades. This is huge. This is bad. Very bad for Kyle Larson. If you're a Kyle Larson fan, I got news for you. The future doesn't look bright. I'm going to go over what happened, the repercussions, some developing news stories, like sponsors actually sticking with them, and then I'm gonna talk about some questions for the future and a little discussion here. So let's first go over what happened. So there was an iRacing event held by Landon Cassill. Poor Landon Cassill, by the way. This has nothing to do with him. He actually set up an awesome event at the Monza Oval for stock cars. Nearly 60 people showed up. Actually, Larson was not even planning on showing. He probably wishes he didn't show up now. But I think it was like 25 minutes into the race or something like that. I'll drop the clip here and just let you see for yourself. I'll bleep it out, though, so if you want to find an uncensored version somewhere else.
It's doing
at all. Stay high with the car on the low side. Clear inside.
I can see it. You can't hear me?
Oh! Oh my gosh!
No way!
Oh!
No way did that just happen.
So yeah, that happened. It's real. That's real. It happened. This is dumbest. It's the dumbest thing he could have possibly done. I can't think of anything dumber he could have done for his career. Honestly, it's hard to feel bad for him. Like, you really can't. The only thing I feel bad for is just, this is a waste of talent. This is just the dumbest way to ruin your career, which is what he's done. It doesn't matter like what anyone thinks. This is the career done. This is career done. This is how it is. Let's talk about the repercussions now. Sponsors, Credit One, McDonald's, Clover, iRacing, Lucas Oil, gone. Obviously, Credit One, major sponsor for him in NASCAR. McDonald's as well. Clover, big sponsor for him on the NASCAR side of things. And they, I believe they specifically mentioned they stand by Ganassi's decision to suspend him. So that honestly indicates to me that the sponsors are staying with Chip. Now, iRacing and Lucas Oil have said bye to him on the dirt side of things. Those were his sponsors for iRacing. Lucas Oil actually brought him to his first Chili Bowl Nationals victory this year that I covered. And you hate to see it. You hate to see that part of it, because he finally completed his childhood dream to win the Chili Bowl this year. And now he's going to have to look back on that and see Lucas Oil in the car, and also know that this was the year that he pretty much ruined his career. Chip Ganassi Racing suspends him without pay. So, yeah, that was a pretty quick decision from Chip. I think that's going to lead to just him being, his contract being let go, terminated. I think that's what this is going to lead to. I think it's a matter of time. NASCAR suspended him indefinitely, and he's going to have to complete a 3 to 4 week sensitivity class. And yeah, wow, a lot has happened in 24 hours. But in other news, people staying with him that announced, Jason Finley of Finley Farms, a longtime sponsor of his dirt racing efforts in the winged 410 specifically, announced that they are staying by his side and that people make mistakes. That's what they said. Plan B Sales, the diecast company, also announced that. I would say very bold moves by those companies to do that. I mean, not bold moves really to stay with him, and I'll explain that. But I think it's a bold move to come out with a statement saying you're gonna stay with him, because then you're just bringing attention to staying with him. Finley Farms specifically, I don't think a lot of people would have noticed if they would have just stayed with him and not made a release about it. Because then you make a release about it saying how people make mistakes and you are standing by his side. Then you just appear that you're agreeing with his actions, and that's not okay. Because it makes sense for these. And the other thing I'm gonna touch on now is it makes sense for these large companies to leave him. Because people like McDonald's, Credit One, Clover, iRacing, Lucas Oil, those are big, recognizable companies that people who aren't necessarily racing fans are going to see Kyle Larson use racial slur in a Fox News NBC article, and they're going to see Kyle Larson in that McDonald's fire suit, and then be like, oh, they support a guy who used the N-word. Maybe I'm not going to go get that Big Mac today. Maybe I'm not going to bank with Credit One ever again. Maybe I'm not going to, I don't even know what Clover does. So maybe I'm not going to do stuff with Clover. I need to find that out though. Support racing sponsors. Side note. But anyways, yeah. And if you're someone defending Kyle Larson, to bounce off that point, think about you're the head of that company. And you see Kyle Larson's in that article, and he's wearing a fire suit with your logo on it, and the title of the article is Kyle Larson uses racial slur. Do you really want to be associated with that? If you're the CEO of that company, I think it's a no every time. You just got to think about it in that perspective. With Finley Farms and Plan B Sales staying with him, the interesting thing is I don't think this is going to affect his dirt career. It might affect his team with Carson Macedo and Chevrolet, because Chevrolet also announced that they're leaving. I forgot to mention that. But yeah, this might affect Carson Macedo, or it might not because Finley Farms is staying. But yeah, I think we're just going to be seeing Kyle Larson running more dirt races, which leads to the question is what's next for Kyle Larson? Like I said, a bunch of dirt racing and maybe more involvement in his own sprint car team. Because he can't play iRacing anymore because he got banned from iRacing indefinitely. So, yeah, not good. Nothing about this is good at all. Because honestly, next question I want to bring up is, what is his future in NASCAR and what type of repercussions does this have for NASCAR? Because not only should you be mad at Kyle Larson for what he said, you should be mad at Kyle Larson for what this does for NASCAR. Kyle Larson is arguably one of the most talented drivers in NASCAR, if not the most talented, next to like a Kyle Busch. Just not able to shine in the equipment he's in. That argument's made all the time. And he's young. He's 27. He has a good maybe 10 years left in him. 10, maybe more, probably more. Now I say that, and I don't see how you recover from this image. Don't see how you recover from this. Not only at that perspective, but also the perspective of NASCAR and stereotypes. The Confederate flag stuff, from a few years ago. They wanted to get away from that, and then now they have this. It's just, none of it's good. It's not good for anybody at all. So as fans, honestly now at this point, I say we just forget and live on, because we know how this is going to end. We know it's going to end. Larson's going to lose his ride. He's going to go dirt racing. And I don't think we should stop him from dirt racing. I think he should honestly have that as his kind of getaway and try and, go dirt race for a little bit, maybe come back after some time has passed and some wounds have been healed. Now, yeah, that's just, none of this is good at all. I'm sad to make this video because it's such a waste of talent, and I love watching Kyle Larson on dirt. If you followed me on my social media, I'm a Kyle Larson fan, not in NASCAR, but on dirt. He's just so fun to watch, and it's a real shame. It's just, you hate to see it. You hate to see it. It's not good for anybody. So I think I've said what's needed to be said. Again, I don't think I said anything that could be taken the wrong way, but I just want to make a disclaimer that I do not condone what Kyle Larson did. I'm not defending him. There's nothing to defend. This is not defendable in my eyes. It's not. One last thing. I think that this happens too often, and it gets left unnoticed, or nothing happens to the person who does it, or they end up getting off clean and fine. That's obviously not happening. The man has lost his livelihood, but I think it's come to the point where the N-word, has become it's becoming memed more and more. It's making people think that it's acceptable to say, in a sense of that it's a joke. Now, whether Kyle Larson meant it as a joke, or he said it like he meant it, I think the culture of the word being a meme, and it's okay to say it, I think that's as big of a problem, and it's not okay. That's another part of it that I kind of want to mention. It's just, there's a sense of it that you see it on Instagram and Reddit, and it's just getting memed more and more and more. It's being used, the word is being used in memes more and more and more, and as people see these memes, they think it's okay to say it. They think it's okay, or their friends give them a pass to say it, or they say it's okay to say it. If you're a driver and you're doing business, why would you even risk? It's just so stupid. I don't have to explain how stupid it is. I really don't. But I just want to get the message across of how stupid this is. It's just, like I said, it's the dumbest way to ruin your career, and he's managed to do it. So I think I've said all that's needed to be said. I'm sorry if I jumbled around it, but I feel like I say that at the end of all my videos. But it's just a weird time. Of course, right when I jump into doing YouTube and doing all this stuff, I jump into the weirdest time to do this stuff. So I hope this has been entertaining. I hope I have informed you. I hope I have given some good takes. So this has been Race Nation TV. I've started a Discord. I have my Instagram. I have my Twitter. Go follow me on there for more content, and I will see you in the next one, and hopefully not a very weird and unconventional video.